World of Warcraft Dragonflight 1 month later. Let's see what Nixxiom thinks about the game.
World of Warcraft Dragonflight has been out for over a month now, and during this time, we have gotten to talk a lot about this expansion here on this channel. From the positives, praising Dragonflight and the new changes that it has brought to the game, to the negatives, where we have given feedback on what Blizzard can improve on going forward, like fixing the early game leveling experience for new players. But I've yet to make a video like this one talking about, well, how has the expansion been going overall in these past several weeks? Many of you...
Like, how I feel about the early game experience, like, World of Warcraft, like, Retail WoW is right now just a puzzle of stories that you have to, like, put together so they make sense. And this is, to me, like, from a new player perspective, I think it's a big issue. Like, what is if, like, you suggest one of your friends to try out World of Warcraft and they buy it, and then they end up in such a mess and they need to puzzle the pieces together, and you have to maybe even explain them with what sort of time walking they should start and this and that. Like, it's so weird. We need, like, some unique new player sort of campaign that maybe takes the main quests of each expansion and you just quest through or something, or like a short version of everything. Because right now, everything is just so confusing.
In these past several weeks. Many of you, I'm sure, are sitting there still skeptical about giving Dragonflight a try and are curious as to whether or not this expansion is still doing well after being out for as long as it has been. People have certainly gotten the opportunity to sink their teeth into the expansion so far, so today I hope to go into the current state of World of Warcraft overall and give you guys a review of how it's been for the majority of players, myself, and even answer the question of whether or not I am still playing right now and what I am personally doing in this expansion right now. So let us soar on in and talk about some Dragonflight, shall we? Now, before we really get into talking about the current state of the game, we gotta talk about the release of Dragonflight. World of Warcraft Dragonflight was released on November 28th, 2022, to a heavy amount of division in regards to whether or not this expansion would be worth playing.
This is gonna be the worst expansion ever! This game is dead! I'm never gonna play WoW again after this! Yeah, this game sucks!
Alright, due to previous blunders with Blizzard Entertainment ranging from in-company drama, division over new game releases from the company, to the failures of previous WoW expansions like Shadowlands, many players were now, they were kind of anti-Blizzard in their thinking, believing that once proud and capable...
But that's the thing in life, like, if someone somehow loses their reputation and has, like, a bad standing amongst the community and stuff, like, it's actually so difficult to get back into, like, a good standing and for people to have a good impression of you again. Like, this is the, it's like so, it's the same kind of like with job interviews, you could almost compare it with, right? Like, if you have a job interview somewhere, right? And you like leave a good impression, this good impression will last. But if you're like in the first minutes of like a conversation, for example, during our job interview, you leave a bad impression, then even if you get like another 10 or 20 minutes to speak to those people, like it's really, really hard to make up for the first minutes that you ruined or something. Like this is why it's so important to have like a good impression and keep it up. Like once your impression goes down, like this is the issue now with WoW, right? Like everyone is thinking Dragonflight is so bad because of Shadowlands and BFA. Like people really hated BFA and Shadowlands, and now they think Dragonflight can't be any better. So even if they see good things in game, they still have this kind of negative thinking about Blizzard, right? And it's the same like with the job interviews, right? Like once you appear negative to someone, this person is not easily going to change their mind that you are like a great guy or something. Like, yeah, that's like human psychology sort of, right? Like, once you think bad about someone, to think about them good again, you still have in the back of your head the bad thinking, like the bad impression, right? I hope they can recover. I'm pretty sure it's going to take several years for Blizzard to be like... I'm not even sure if they can ever go back to their standing and the look people had on them, like years ago. But they can somehow repair a bit with like some good expansions, give us some good Dragonflight patches, and I hope they can sort of recover with their reputation.
They were kind of anti-Blizzard in their thinking, believing that that once proud and capable company, known for epic games and immersive fantasy, they had lost their touch and their ability to create a good game. And here was this new expansion, this Dragonflight thing, flying on in to deliver what needed to be a groundbreaking experience. Otherwise, modern World of Warcraft was doomed. We have Wrath of the Lich King, but even Wrath of the Lich King Classic, for all its positives, it cannot carry the entire World of Warcraft population forever. Dragonflight needed to be a success. And so it came out, and people were, well, they were quite surprised at how good the expansion was. Despite concerns and worries, Drakthir ended up being a fun class for many people. There was plenty to do on the Dragon Isles in terms of reputation gains, world quests, discovery, world PvP, and so on. Dungeons were fun. The new crafting system was confusing as hell. It was a breath of fresh air, and videos began to pour out across the internet praising the expansion, with the overall consensus being
You know what's like funny here about Alexstrasza? If you look at her, she's literally to the fans the new Sylvanas in a way, right? Like you had like people simping for Sylvanas and they were going crazy. Now people are going to simp for freaking Alexstrasza and they're going like, oh, Alexstrasza is like the new Sylvanas now. Just look at her. She's so hot or something. I can already see this in the freaking forums. I'm not kidding, guys. Like people already started simping for Alexstrasza just like they did for Sylvanas back in the day. We have no more Sylvanas, so the people need something else to simp to, right? Like seriously. And by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. There's much more WoW content coming soon.
Fresh air, and videos began to pour out across the internet praising the expansion, with the overall consensus being Dragonflight is worth checking out. But guys, that was only in the first weeks. And despite the fact that we want that honeymoon phase to last forever, okay, it never does. Now, since that time, more and more people have reached endgame.
Like that.
They've begun farming their max item level gear. Blizzard has released the first Dragonflight raid, Vault of the Incarnates, which we'll make a video on here in the future talking about what people think of it. And we here at Nixxiom even released a shirt on our merch store, the Dragon Slayer shirt, to celebrate this expansion.
Looks actually cool.
All right, look, I gotta promote the merch store every now and then, okay? It helps us pay the editors, okay? Go get a shirt. Thank you, guys, thank you. But now you might be wondering, after this whole month has gone by, how's the expansion doing? Well, we did a little bit of a deep dive onto Reddit. We went through YouTube comments right here on this channel, other people's channels, and we even asked around in our community Discord. The overall consensus has been very positive. Even a month later, people are still having a very good time playing the game. Although there are some criticisms that have been rightfully and respectfully pointed out to help Blizzard make the game better. People have praised the content that we've gotten so far. Tons of comments, even the fact that Blizzard has made public their entire patch plan for Dragon.
This actually is, I think, very, very good, because you know what to expect. And it's kind of like the same with like this sort of feeling you get when Christmas is coming soon for like a lot of people, right? Like, you know, you're gonna get gifts on Christmas, right? And this timeline here, what they're showing, like their plan for the future and everything, this is the same feeling you get from like Christmas or your upcoming birthday, because you know you will get some gifts on this and that day or in this and that season, right? I mean, there isn't like a fixed date, but they just say here, okay, it's in winter, it's in spring, it's in summer, it's in fall. And people are already really, really happy because they're looking forward to something. Like we have here, for example, in summer, we have mega dungeon, we have world events. Like holy shit, what kind of world events? Probably we get like cool stuff, maybe even mounts and stuff, right? Content and system updates. And this one here actually is the one I'm looking forward the most to, because content and system updates, is it like a revamp, like a change of like old zones, maybe the starting experience for new players? Or what here in fall, for example, we get a story in quest. That means the story will continue. So for those of you that love story, you get to see more, right? And we have also here content and system updates. So are they going to look at some of the older zones? They add maybe like new NPCs and quests to there and stuff. Like that's the thing. I'm really looking forward to this.
Dragonflight, this is awesome, bringing us content at a steady and fruitful pace. Phoenix is Trash on Reddit said, this is the most fun I've had in a long time in World of Warcraft.
I feel the
as
same.
long as content rolls
daily
out at a
almost.
sane pace, I think Dragonflight will go down as one of WoW's greatest expansion packs.
Could
I don't
be.
know if it'll go down as one of WoW's greatest expansion
Maybe
packs. I
Legion
mean, I guess
level.
we'll find out, but it's been good so far. However, as strange as this sounds, a lot of people, this was a very frequent comment that came up like all over the place. Many people have been actually overwhelmed at how much content Dragonflight has and how many things there are to do in this expansion. I mean, check out this comment from Red Chorus. He says, I feel kind of lost. Not gonna lie. There's a ton of stuff to do, but I feel like I need to read guides to understand everything. It's a little overwhelming. I wish it was easier to find what rewards I'm working towards and stuff. This comment got 37 upvotes and there were plenty other comments just like it. Now, speaking...
That is actually good. That's the same like with freaking Skyrim when it released, like some other like RPG games. Like if you're in a world and you have no clue what the heck you should do and you're kind of lost, there's just so much to do. That means you can play the game, and this is a fact, for like years, and you still have to discover certain things. Like there's still some things you haven't discovered, right? So that's good if you have so much and you feel lost, because that means you're not gonna get bored with the game, right? Like if the game gets solved for you immediately, like what are you playing the game for anymore, right? Like are you just going to be like one of those people that just don't play the game for like some days or weeks until you have like an appointment with your guild for a heroic raid or something? Or what kind of person will you be when it comes to like playing WoW, right? And I think also looking at, like he says, reading guides and stuff, that's also, I think this can actually kill the fun if you read too many guides, because there's no more exploration and discovery value, and it doesn't feel so rewarding if you do discover or solve something, right? Because you solved it through guides. I try to always like avoid guides, and I try to solve it myself. The only thing that I'm looking at for guides right now is how to make my dragon fly faster and stuff. And I actually, at first I didn't use an add-on to find those dragon flying glyphs, right? But I couldn't find so many, and I heard there were like still some in the zone, so I was lost. I was flying around and I constantly couldn't fly anymore, because I fly for like a few minutes and then like the stamina is exhausted of the dragon. It can no longer fly. So I was a bit annoyed, so I downloaded the add-on to see those glyphs and stuff, right? But besides that, I'm avoiding guides because I want to have like a more blind playthrough and experience and solve things myself.
And stuff. This
It's more
comment
fun,
got
I think.
37 upvotes, and there were plenty other comments just like it. Now, speaking for myself as Nixxiom, I have found the endgame content at Dragonflight to be not too overwhelming, although I can see how people might come to this
mediocre.
conclusion,
It's like not
especially
super
when
hot,
the game,
right?
it's almost like it's encouraging you, like, go do and check out everything and enjoy it as much as you can while the expansion's available. I myself, I have just kind of gravitated towards being an endgame crafter, doing mythics, and I did try to find a good raiding guild, but unfortunately I'm still a lonely orc. I did get into a guild, to be fair, but our raiding team fell apart and we were not able to do anything, but that's okay, it's fine. I got to do some vault on LFR, so I'm happy for the time being, and I've been leveling some ults recently, like my Shadow Priest. I unlocked a Zandalari Trolls on this new US account that I made, so I've been playing a Zandalari Shaman, and it's been fun. You know, I've really enjoyed the new talent system and, you know, leveling ults with it, although I will, you know, going back to that previous video where I talked about the leveling experience in the early game, it is kind of doo-doo at the moment, but you can check out that video after this one if you want, or if you want to hear my criticisms.
Yeah, we saw that one already.
Overall, Dragonflight, it's been a good expansion so far. One that if you are still on the fence about it, you probably should at least maybe give it a shot.
Yeah,
at least
try
I
it.
think so. But don't take my word for it. Don't. Go look around online. You'll see what I'm talking about. There are problems with Dragonflight, like the profession system being a bit confusing. Work orders are being unused for the most part. Early game, again, still suffering from a lack of attention, but Dragonflight, it's been received very positively so far, and people are having fun, even 1 month later after release. And that's really cool to see, because we've needed a really good WoW expansion for a long time. A lot of us are just waiting to see if Blizzard can continue to deliver with what they've teased and what they've said is upcoming with the patches for the expansion. New zones, things to do, and so on. Is what's to come going to add to the game, or is it going to hurt it in the long run? Guess we're gonna have to wait to find out as the months roll by. But Dragonflight, even a month later, is being praised for its enjoyable leveling. The talent tree revamps have been...
And the enjoyable leveling also comes, in my opinion, from the zones. I actually like the way the zones look. Like, this is a fact with like human psychology. Like certain bright colors and warmer colors, they give you a more positive feeling, right? So if you see like a lot of green stuff, you see like beautiful flowers, you see maybe some magma and some like fire regions next to like some forest and grassland regions. Like you have all those like bright colors. You have the strong light green, you have those bright rivers with like the light blue, you have like the magma zones and stuff. And I feel like if you are flying through those kind of cozy areas and stuff, especially like the plain spheres and forests, like you get a very good feeling as well. Because if you look at like the zones in Shadowlands, they're very gloomy, very dark and stuff. So maybe if you're like questing and leveling through those, you don't get such a positive feeling. And this has also a lot to do with like colors and how the environment looks. So I'm not surprised that people do have this kind of feeling. Plus, I have to also add, I find the quest lights, like the way they are written and what the heck you are doing there, actually a bit more interesting than what you're doing in Shadowlands, because it's more simple. It has sometimes to do with like you have to save also wildlife. Like there was this one quest at like the early starting zone where you get for the first time to this super green area, and they're like some researchers, like they're two draconites, I'll pronounce them correct, and they're like, okay, I don't want to spoil too much, but they're doing something to save the wildlife and stuff, and you have to help them. And I think this was really a fun quest because you were doing something that's actually useful for like nature and stuff. So maybe it's kind of like you're doing positive things and you get rewarded for it. So you feel good as a person or something. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like that. Maybe you guys feel like that. Let me know in the comment section. But I get a positive feeling from doing those quests.
Enjoyable leveling. The talent tree revamps have been a welcome addition, although some classes do need a bit of work. Drakthir, it's a great class to play for many people. Dragonflying has been received extremely favorably according to polls like this one, which we ran on our channel. Thank you guys for participating. Exploration in the expansion's rewarding. The first raid, Vault of the Incarnates, has been received positively. The dungeons are strong and enjoyable. Guys, I know I'm kind of repeating myself here from previous videos, but Dragonflight is pretty fun. Is it the best World of Warcraft expansion ever? Well, I mean, it's good, but it's too early to say something like that. We're gonna have to wait to find out. What do you guys think? And as the expansion continues, you better believe that right here on this channel, I am gonna be holding Blizzard accountable, praising the good, criticizing the bad as fair as I can. Together, guys, let's give Blizzard some strong feedback, and let's make World of Warcraft the best MMO that it can be. Now, if you are someone who maybe you're struggling with endgame, you're confused by this expansion and so on, man, if only there was some sort of like add-on that explained everything, gave detailed guides on rep grinding, dragon glyph collecting, gold making, and even helped with leveling alts. And if only that add-on was on your screen right now in the form of a video that you could click on where I review it in full and share my thoughts on whether it's worth checking out. But oh well, I guess such a thing doesn't exist. Thank you for watching, guys.
Wow. I'm actually happy that he enjoys it, because Nixxiom was one of those creators where you were actually like wondering if he's going to stop playing the game or not. Because there was a time where I remember like he was like uploading less, and he was kind of like, even on his like live streams, talking a little negative about WoW, right? And he then went back to playing WoW Classic. He leveled up like a paladin at this time and stuff. And I wasn't like even sure if he's going to stick around, because like back in the day, like a lot of people actually left WoW. Or for example, Noble left, but he came back, so it's really great. And like there are like so many channels, like now some are like uploading him, but there were like channels that would not upload for 1 or 2 years straight and stuff. Because like if you're a content creator and you're like grinding for content, you're doing like daily content and stuff, like if you're doing something you don't enjoy or about a game you're not so interested in, it's like hard to release content to that, right? This is like for me like a bit different, because we're doing like variety on this channel, right? Like we have also like other MMOs we talk about and look at. But if you're like purely a WoW creator and like WoW goes down, like it's no more fun. Like on a fun level, not popularity level, but like fun. Because I think like fun is what keeps you working on something as a creator. Like sure, there are like certain topics you get like more views for, but if you enjoy what you're doing, even if the numbers aren't there, like you will probably still do it, right? But yeah, like Nixxiom, I wasn't sure if he was going to stay around, but I'm happy that he actually decided to stay around and give WoW another chance, at least WoW retail, right? And for me, I love Dragonflight. For me, maybe the most fun could be actually the exploration, because I'm in love with the new zones. I find those like mini quests very fun, like the one I mentioned earlier at the beginning where you save some wildlife and stuff. I think this is really, really cool. Dragon flying is really, really fun, but at the same time it's annoying because I think I'm doing something wrong. Like, the stamina of my dragon is always out, and I have to stay on the ground AFK for some seconds until I can fly again. It's very annoying. I'm trying to grab all the glyphs, but I guess I'm missing so many still, and flying is like timely limited and stuff to me. Maybe in the future if I have all glyphs it's different, but yeah. And yeah, overall I also enjoy Dragonflight after its release. It's pretty fun, pretty cool. I can't wait to see what Blizzard has next for us. Their plans that they showed us, like their roadmap, it looks very, very interesting. I'm excited for also the content updates, because what does that mean exactly? Are they going to rework like all zones or something? I hope it does mean that, because that would be fun then to grind a new alt through those new zones and their experiences. But yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I wish everyone a wonderful day, a wonderful night. I will see you guys next time.